So what does the whole entire cool kick situation mean for sneaker reselling? Well, it means that it just got a little bit harder. People aren't going to trust the goods that they've been getting. I've been saying this the whole entire time, guys. People's trust in the product that they're buying means more than anything. You buy where your money feels most valued. That's what's important to a lot of people. They want value out of their purchases, guys. And honestly, sneaker reselling has just inflated the value of a lot of sneakers. The whole entire cool kick situation has exposed a lot. Whether it's true or false, it still raises very valid questions. Most people are wondering, how on earth do resellers get the goods that they get anyway? Cool Kicks is such a major distributor in the sneaker resale game. On October 2nd, they got raided live by the LAPD. They were live selling sneakers and they got raided on the accusation that the goods that they were selling were stolen. A lot of the sneakers that they supposedly had were things that haven't even touched the market yet. I mean, some say this is poetic justice. This is a good way of sneaker resellers getting humbled because they've been doing this for a while now. They've been able to get kicks way before anybody else, and they're the ones tripling and quadrupling a lot of these prices, and some people feel like this is justice. Regardless of how you feel about it, it signaled a major shift in the sneaker resale culture. People are gonna really start investigating where these sneakers come from. A lot of people are just gonna withdraw from the whole game in general. Most people are tired of paying quadruple, triple, thousands of dollars for a sneaker just to wear it maybe once or twice because you're afraid of it falling apart. But guess what? It's a man-made product. It's going to fall apart in about 10 years, regardless of what type of sneaker it is. So why are you spending so much money on it? A lot of people have been asking that question a lot. This cool kick situation has highlighted something that's been going on in sneaker resale ever since the pandemic. People have been scalping and getting things way ahead of time and holding on to them and then releasing them in sparse amounts and then calling that exclusivity. That's not free. That's not fair. That's just broken. It's a manipulative capitalistic tactic that really exists within sneaker resale. For some reason, people do this all the time. And sneaker resale is beginning to fail because of this, because people don't want these sneakers anymore. They're bored. A lot of people are agreeably bored with sneakers. The releases aren't as hot as they used to be, and I think a lot of people are seeing that, wow, sneakers are cheap. Look how much Yeezys are selling for. Kanye's literally selling Yeezys for 20 bucks. $20, man. How are you ever going to compete with a price like that? And a lot of resellers justify their high prices with this idea that it's rare and hard to get, but what really made it hard to get? The fact that you got them all ahead of time, or the fact that the retailer made it hard to get? And retailers aren't agreeing with this whole entire just make it exclusive practice. They've been re-releasing a lot of hype sneakers in the hopes that people come back to buying sneakers at a certain price point. But $250 for a sneaker is pretty expensive nowadays. The cool kick situation is probably going to negatively impact sneaker resale for years to come. If these things come out to be true and they were actually getting stolen goods, a lot of people are going to put a silver eye on a lot of these sneaker resellers. People are going to think twice about whether they're going to get their sneakers from big giants or they're going to go somewhere like eBay and just buy them used. It's going to be different going to sneaker conventions and seeing people with multiple pairs of a sneaker. You're going to question how on earth they got it. Whether it means that those goods are stolen, or whether those goods are fake, or maybe they just had a lot of money and they just bought a bunch of sneakers. Nobody's going to know, but that whole entire image of having a bunch of sneakers and having everything is going to be frowned upon because people are going to assume that you got it through illegitimate means. Is it fair? That's questionable. You really shouldn't assume how somebody got their sneakers. However, it's going to be a natural question that is raised because of all these news events about these big sneaker resellers getting exposed. Then again, the shift that might naturally occur from this whole cool kick situation is people starting to buy reps. They might go back to buying fakes. The people have been buying fakes for a while now. They don't really care about whether something's legit or not because they feel like they're getting ripped off no matter what. So they just find their own way to get their sneakers. I mean, it is really common nowadays. People just go to DHgate or Panda Buy or all sorts of websites. I mean, you can get them off of eBay even, as long as you don't get the ones that are proven to be verified. You can just buy what you want. And people are okay with doing that because they feel like it's the honorable response to the whole entire sneaker culture. And when news like this comes out, they feel justified in making these purchases. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just highlighting something that's very common in the culture nowadays. And it doesn't help that this whole cool kick situation happened live on camera in front of thousands of people. It was like it was a point being made by the LAPD about what's happening in the sneaker culture, what's happening with fashionable goods in general. With all the exposure that these goods are getting, remember like earlier in the year where people were exposing the fact that a lot of designer brands were being made for cheap, and the fact that Yeezys are being sold for $20 and Cool Kicks getting exposed. It's like it's being proven right in front of us that these goods that people have thought to be super expensive and valuable are just artificially inflated with the price. Perhaps people will start to wake up and realize that their voice matters when they buy things. It really signals something about our values when we support certain practices. And most people do not want to support the practice of getting things ahead of time and then selling them for way more than what they're worth. And once again, we really don't know what's going on with Cool Kicks. We're not in the know. We don't have all the details. All this is just rumor and allegation, but the fact that it is news still raises controversy, and it raises a lot of questions. Sneaker resale was already on a downward spiral because people got tired of spending their money on these goods. Look, news headlines have said for a while now that the whole entire sneaker market is on a decline because the retail prices are too high and the economy really isn't supporting people buying a bunch of expensive sneakers. But this is the psychology of these modern sneakerheads, guys. This is what's come down nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, people are just gonna buy what's cheap. I've been saying it for so long now, and these events just highlight that pattern. People are gonna go to where there's less money being spent, there's more comfort, there's more style. I mean, the fact that people are okay with wearing Walmart sneakers and Skechers, that says so much. And Walmart sneakers are cool. They look cool, they look like New Balances, people rock them, and it works. I mean, who are we to hate on people for wearing sneakers that just work for them? And these shifts are kind of healthy in a way because maybe things will just go back to the way they were. People will just wear sneakers and stop worrying about collecting everything and just buy what they like. Let things sit for a little bit, you know what I mean? Let them cook, let the value come up naturally. And then people may come back to being more of a hype beast sneakerhead, perhaps. Who knows? All I do know is that there's a lot more people becoming interested in sneakers in general, not just the hype Jordans and the Nike models. They like smaller brands like Adidas and Puma. It's just cool nowadays to wear things and look good and color coordinate. And people have forgotten how simple it is just to wear sneakers. It's not all about wearing the hype, it's just about wearing what looks good. And it's cool. I think a lot of people are happy with the humble nature that's coming about with sneaker culture because it seems like these news headlines are made to humble the people that have made a profit off of artificially and cheating the market. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Scalping isn't cool. It's not really fair. I don't really think it's something that should be allowed. Why does one person be able to get all the goods if they didn't make them? I could understand if it was Nike doing this or the actual distributor, but for somebody else just to have an inside know-how and a connection that most people don't have, and they're able to get all the sneakers at a time, and they're like, they normally retail at this price, but let's double it, triple it. What type of like advancement are we making with that? I think sometimes we hold ourselves back from understanding the power of our purchasing decisions because we have fed into this for so long, but the news headlines are telling, whether it be Cool Kicks, whether it be StockX, Nike, Adidas, whoever. A lot of these companies are being put in the spotlight for how they decide to create their business models, and we're seeing it live in action, 4K if you will, and it's okay. Make your decision. You don't have to buy all these goods. Take a moment, pause, appreciate what you have. Learn how to diversify the way you dress in different ways. If this Cool Kid situation has signaled anything, it's signaled how unfair sneaker resale has been for a while, and people are finally deciding to reclaim their power. I think this whole entire Cool Kick situation is really going to push people to take back some of the power they've given some of these distributors for so long. I think a lot of people are going to say, you know what, maybe I'll buy used sneakers, or maybe I'll take a break. I personally feel like I've been doing that for a while. I've been taking a break from buying sneakers because it's just been an expensive habit to keep up with, especially when you want certain hype sneakers and you want diversity. It gets expensive after a while, but there are ways around that. Used sneakers are so cool. Sometimes I find things at Plato's or Ross and I just buy them just because they look good. I'm not too concerned with the brands nowadays, and A lot of people aren't. And I think this Cool Kick situation is going to make people more humble with the sneakers that they buy and how they choose to get their sneakers. And they'll think twice and just think, maybe this was stolen. Who knows? I don't know. It's just culture. Who knows at the end of the day, man? This all could be proven to be false and people will just go back to spending thousands of dollars on sneakers. I mean, that is the psychology of the modern sneakerhead nowadays anyway. But what do you think? It seems that sneaker reselling is finally collapsing on itself. With the recent Cool Kit situation, it's hard to argue that sneaker reselling is a fair practice still. Honestly, with the whole Cool Kick stuff, they were caught in some stolen goods scheme. I don't really know the whole details. Nobody really knows, but it does raise a lot of valid questions. Can you trust the goods that you've been buying for years, right? Honestly, we have to analyze the culture for what it is nowadays. It is a business model at the end of the day. The point of sneaker culture is to generate revenue, whether that be for the people that produce the sneakers or the people that resell them. Unfortunately, the people that resell sneakers seem to have a little bit of an advantage in the game. They're allowed to get away with a lot. The recent situation with Cool Kicks, allegedly they were caught buying stolen goods. They may have bought it from somebody else and then they were trying to sell it to other people. These goods include unreleased merchandise that has yet to be made public. They were able to get sneakers way ahead of time, aka scalping. They were backdooring sneakers, getting them ahead of time, able to adjust the prices and make them look rare, all this fake exclusivity. This has been going on in sneaker culture forever, so the fact that it's getting highlighted in 2025 is no surprise to me. Sneaker culture used to be about showing off your cool kicks, no pun intended. Now it's about who's getting exposed for what, or who's wearing what's real and what's fake, and whether you can really trust the resellers. StockX has been accused of selling fakes for years. They're the biggest sneaker distributor on the resale end of things, and with them and Cool Kicks being put in a hot seat, it seems like we really have to break down sneaker culture and analyze it for what it is. And just to be clear, we don't know if Cool Kicks was selling fake kicks, but it really is a legitimate question to ask of all sneaker resellers. Are you guys really selling what's real? Are you selling what's fake? Or do you even own what you got? Did you get it by illegal means? Did you steal it? It's just really hard to be a sneakerhead nowadays. You have to really analyze everything that you buy and where you're buying it from, and you have to get it from somewhere where you can trust it. It just seems like every day there's some news piece that really makes us question the market, question its legitimacy, and ultimately change the way we buy sneakers. The culture just seems to be tired of reselling. It has become the biggest weight on the culture. Everybody seems to fall into this category of retailer bust nowadays, because when we go out and we buy sneakers for a high price, it makes us question whether we're getting taken advantage of. When you combine this with the fact that a lot of news pieces have shared the fact that a lot of sneaker resellers are involved in either stolen goods or fake goods, it makes you wonder, why are you paying such top dollar for something that isn't even worth it at the end of the day? Unless you plan on reselling these sneakers, the only appeal they have to you is their looks. People rather wear Walmart Avias than pay money for resale sneakers, and I don't blame them. The sneakers are cheaper, they're more available, they look good. Nowadays, people are much more wise and mature when it comes to their purchasing decisions. We focus more on what looks good and how low the cost is. Simple economics. And with this economy nowadays, with the government shutdown and food being so expensive, it's just logical to buy sneakers for a much, much cheaper price. And when you compound that with the fact that a lot of sneaker resellers get away with selling fake goods, it's just better to say retailer buster. Just buy something different. You don't have to go out and buy the latest Jordans or the really hype expensive sneaker. You could just get a pair of Skechers and you won't get roasted anymore, which is drastic, especially with the social media age that we're in. People don't really care about big brands anymore. They rather just wear something that's easy to afford and honestly more versatile. No one really trusts resale anymore anyway. Plain and simple. Cool Kicks was just a huge influencer in the retail market. They had like celebrity buying videos, and they really set the tone when they started doing live sneaker auctions. It's a shame that they have been caught up in some bad allegations, but it really allows us to dissect the culture and question it for what it is. They were the heart of the legit checking videos, the shop with me videos, the celebrities or the influencers. They had a big part of determining what direction the culture was going in. And for them to be exposed for backdooring allegedly and getting kicks way ahead of time before they were even available on the retail end of things shows us that sneaker resale isn't really all it's cracked up to be. Exclusivity with products has been in the game for so long. It's with clothing, it's with trading cards. The more rare something is, the more value it has. Cool. But the retailers should be the ones that are deciding this, not the resellers. It's crazy how resellers are able to get sneakers before they're even released on the retail end and then make so much money off of it. You don't see that in things like trading cards, for example. It's not like select people get packs way ahead of time and then they're able to determine the price of certain cards. Like, it's the history, it's the past. Like a Charizard Pokemon card is expensive because it was from the past and it was kept in pristine condition and it's super rare. But with sneakers, it seems like the rarity is determined by people way ahead of the time, not like the whole culture, just a small fraction of it. How is that fair? StockX has carried the stigma of selling fake sneakers for years, and they're still in the game. They're still selling sneakers. What is going on? They have been exposed so many times, even by Nike, but people choose to buy from them still. And I think it is a lot of resellers just reselling to resellers, and it's just like a big old Spider-Man meme of goods being passed between one redistributor to another. And people are realizing there's ways around paying resale for a sneaker. Maybe you just don't have to own that sneaker if you can't get it for retail. People are okay with buying fake goods nowadays. And on top of that, smaller brands are getting way more attention, like I mentioned earlier. You have the Walmart sneakers, you have New Balance, you have Asics. As long as it looks good, people will wear it. And these new purchases seem less oversaturated than those of the past. Nowadays, it seems overwhelming with the amount of sneakers that are readily available. Retailers have let go of their whole entire exclusivity model. They started to release very rare brands and rare sneakers from the past to allow us to have a chance to get them for retail, thus putting more money back in their pockets. But nowadays, you even see hype sneakers like Jordan 4s sitting on the apps because people are just tired of the oversaturated models. They rather go with something that's refreshing, like dad sneakers. And sneaker reselling seems to be hitting its lowest point because a lot of people are waking up. When sneaker resale suffers, sneaker retail suffers, and retailers don't like the fact that reselling is starting to become a bust. When sneakers sit on the resale side of things, it makes it look like the sneakers that are retailing aren't that appealing and people don't buy either of them, and then they collect dust, drop in price, cycle repeats, and then you have a broken business model. Why is this happening? Because people are realizing their voice has power and they're collecting more information about the goods that they're buying. Hence the whole news pieces about Cool Kicks, StockX, and other sellers. They make you question what is going on. Whether these allegations are true or not, people still have very valid concerns to raise about the goods they've been purchasing for years. I do believe that sneaker resale is on a shift downward because people can't trust the things that they're buying, and sneaker culture is also changing to be more about just wearing what is fashionable and accessible and affordable. People really just want to wear things that make them look good and they feel confident and comfortable. They're not concerned with hype nowadays because it's so easy to get fakes that are one of one. It really doesn't matter where you got your sneakers from or how much you paid for them. It's about how you put it fit. The moral values seem to align with just getting things fairly, whether you buy them fake or whether you get them on the retail end. People don't want to support a business model that just stops certain people from getting goods. Like, how fair is that? And regardless of what happens with the whole Cool Kick situation, whether they are the heart of this whole entire underground sneaker scheme or whether they're innocent, the questions and the concerns that have been raised are going to be valid and they're going to remain. People are going to really start diversifying the way they get their goods, especially with the economy headed in the trend that it's heading in. A lot of people aren't seeing sneakers as this like needed necessity per se, and the whole entire idea of buying multiple sneakers a month or multiple sneakers in a year is kind of dwindled. I think the Christmas season, the holiday shopping season will prove to be profitable for sneakers, but after that, a lot of people are going to be tired of just collecting and collecting and collecting for very little purpose. There's no monetary gain to be gained from all this. To many, monetary value isn't really the real reason it got in the game to begin with, and with the whole sneaker resale crumbling, people are going to start wearing and keeping their sneakers for a longer period of time because the incentive to sell them is going to be gone. There's no guarantee when you buy sneakers for resale. You don't know what you're getting. There's no authenticity per se. I mean, other than the platform itself, you don't have all these other big companies backing up the legit check claims. So you're really just taking a risk whether you buy sneakers for retail or you get them used. You don't know what you're buying. But this is the whole point of this channel. We're just going to break down the whole entire sneaker culture and fashion culture and resale culture and all these other big aspects of how we make our purchasing decisions, because it's important for us to understand the psychology behind that stuff. Unless you want to keep spending thousands of dollars on goods, you gotta know what's going on with the things that you purchase. And I think this whole situation serves as a big lesson for how we continue to buy goods and how we're going to continue to spend our money. Right? I think this is going to cause people to be a little bit more informed about their purchasing decisions and whether they need these sneakers or not. It's proven that sneakers are no longer a necessity. They're not really much of a commodity anymore. They're just a product. At the end of the day, you choose which product you want to keep, how often you want to get that product, but the whole entire need of a big sneaker closet, I mean, come on now. More sneakerheads are born every single day. There are more people who are getting into sneakers, and the more people that are just generally into sneakers, the less there is of a need of knowing this history behind sneakers and getting the super expensive and super hype sneakers. You can just wear things that are just cool and comfortable. And that's the whole point of being a sneakerhead, is to diversify your collection, wear things that you like, and feel good when you're wearing them.